All right, guys, how's it going? So I have been to the cafe this morning and I have reviewed today's Spanish football dailies for you. And I don't think you'll be surprised when I tell you that there's stuff about Ibrahima Konaté in them today. Both Madrid publications run something today. Now, first of all, I just want to warn you, if you hear anybody on social media today saying, oh, Konaté is in Marca, Jose Felix Diaz has wrote about him. This is actually Jose's article from a couple of days ago. It was published a couple of days ago on their website. It didn't make yesterday's edition of Marca, which I found a bit strange. But anyway, it did appear today. I've checked it, cross-checked it with the original, because sometimes the versions that appear in the print edition can be slightly different. It's not updated. We've gone over it before. In fact, I did a video about this article yesterday. And just to clarify, this article does not say that talks between Ibrahima Konaté and Real Madrid, all the proposed transfer to Real Madrid is very advanced. Jose Felix Diaz did say it was very advanced in an informal conversation with another journalist, like a video, like live stream kind of thing, but he hasn't put it in the print yet. So I went over all of this yesterday in a video. I think it was titled I Have a Mole at Anfield, or I Have a Mole at Liverpool. I thought it was a good video, actually. I put a lot of effort into that one. But basically, very advanced is Jose Felix Diaz's personal opinion. He hasn't put it into the print edition yet. So if you hear anybody say Konaté is in Marca, or Marca is saying this, that and the other today, they're not. It's something that we've gone over a few days ago. However, there is an article in the other Madrid publication, AS, which we are going to take a look at in this video for you. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to give you a summary of it in case you haven't got much time and you don't want to go through all of it with me. I'll give you the summary, I'll give you the key points. I will then read the original article to you, because, I don't know, sometimes a summary and key points can leave out maybe the message that an author or journalist wants to get to you. So I always think it's good for you guys to listen to it yourself. And then we'll have Dave's take. Dave is my AI assistant that's trained, if you like. I've trained him over the last year to analyse football news articles, the journalists that write them, and the publications and websites that push them on us. So what we'll do is we will start with this. And its headline, Konaté, Liverpool counters back, basically. And the summary is as follows. Liverpool and Real Madrid are once again in conflict, not on the pitch, but over defender Ibrahima Konaté. His Liverpool contract expires on the 30th of June 2026. And although Real Madrid are eyeing a free transfer next summer, Liverpool are keen to renew. A stalling move for Marc Guéhi has shifted the club's focus back onto securing Konaté's future. Active negotiations are underway, with Liverpool hoping to emulate prior successes in retaining key defenders. What about Trent? The article is published by AS, but it should be noted that they are citing TalkSport for the entire basis of this article. And I think that's really important, because this isn't the Madrid media, some journalist in Madrid with his ear to the ground, listening to what's coming out of the Bernabeu, all right? This is basically citing TalkSport, which I think immediately loses credibility and strength. But we'll go over that when we get to Dave's analysis of the article. So the key points, contract situation, Konaté's contract with Liverpool runs until June 2026. Real Madrid are targeting him as a free agent next summer. Liverpool are actively negotiating to extend his contract and will continue to do so. They will do that right up until he leaves. 3 contract offers have been rejected by Konaté so far. I don't think he'll renew. I think he's going to go to Real Madrid next year on a free transfer, and unless of course Liverpool agree some kind of minimal fee or whatever in January. But he's going to Real Madrid. The collapse of the Marc Guéhi transfer has refocused Liverpool's attention on Konaté. I don't believe that personally. Konaté was valued at 25 to 30 million euros, too costly for Madrid, prompting interest as a free agent. That's a very confusing claim or bullet point, key point from the article. So I need to read that from the article to see who's saying that, because if you remember over the summer, Liverpool was saying, yeah, you can have him for 50 million euros. Real Madrid was saying, we'll give you 25 million euros. So if they're talking about he was valued at 30 million euros, then that would be too much for Real Madrid in the summer. That's why we need to check the full article. Liverpool's strategy, the club is confident in their approach, having previously succeeded with contract renewals for Salah and Van Dijk, though Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't follow the same path, right? I don't believe that the club are confident in getting Konaté to renew. But remember, they're citing Talk Sport. This is not the Madrid media saying this is what we've heard. So let's go to the original article. At Anfield, they're refusing to yield on Madrid's major summer target and are aiming to renew the French central defender's contract. Liverpool and Real Madrid are once more duelling off the field. Just as happened a few months ago with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Los Blancos want something with the Reds possess and aren't ready to relinquish. Ibrahima Konaté's contract expires on the 30th of June and Madrid want to fish him out of Anfield on a free transfer. I like that, it's quite funny. Fish. The acquisition of the young Giovanni Leone and the nearly completed signing of Marc Guéhi had led many to assume Konaté's departure was inevitable. However, the Crystal Palace captain failed to move to Liverpool and the Reds' priorities have shifted. At Anfield, the final word on the French centre-back hasn't yet been spoken. Remember Paul Joyce, the journalist that we listened to, one of two, him and David Ornstein. Remember Joyce wrote an article about Guéhi about a week ago, and the last two paragraphs were killers. Do you remember? And they were talking about Konaté, and it said Liverpool will not beg anyone to stay at Anfield, and that was with regards Konaté. So, we're now going into quotes, if you like. So, this is what it says here, and this is what's reported by TalkSport, right? Okay. So instead of pushing hard to sign Guéhi by the end of the year, Liverpool are devoting much of their short-term efforts towards getting Konaté to renew his contract. The 26-year-old has been strongly linked with a free agent move to Madrid next summer, but Liverpool have not given up on a renewal. They are in active talks with the French international in hopes of persuading him to sign a new long-term deal, reports British radio TalkSport. Now the thing is, if a credible journalist was saying that Liverpool are in active talks, I don't know about you, but I personally would think that's promising. That means Liverpool are speaking to his agent and maybe the agent's, negotiating or listening. But the fact it comes from TalkSport makes me immediately think, nah. And at the end of this video, when we get to Dave's take after this article, I asked Dave about TalkSport. And he came up with how I feel, which is amazing because I promise you, I have never, ever, ever influenced Dave. Like this is what I think, Dave, with anything. So we'll get to that in a second. Right now, we're going back to AS's words now, right? The Reds value Konaté this summer at 25 to 30 million euros, a fee Madrid were not willing to pay. I dispute that. I don't believe that. Credible sources were saying that Liverpool wanted 50 million euros in the summer, right? I don't believe that. And that is AS saying that, I guess. The Frenchman would have stayed in Liverpool and the club had moved forward with Guéhi, but his transfer collapsed at the last minute and the Englishman would remain at Selhurst Park, much to his frustration. Everything suggested Liverpool would re-engage in January, but they'll wait until next summer. And that makes the Konaté case more open than ever. Now they're going back to quoting TalkSport. There have been no developments, but as demonstrated last season with Salah, Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool are willing to let contracts run down while seeking a solution, adds TalkSport. And then AS go on to say, with Salah and Van Dijk, the tactic worked at Anfield. With Trent, it didn't. We'll see what unfolds with Konaté. Now let's just see what Dave says here, right? So Dave says, this AS piece isn't built on original reporting. It's essentially reciting TalkSport's claims, which in the UK are not considered top tier in terms of reliability. TalkSport is more of a sports radio entertainment outlet. They throw out a lot of speculation, rumours and strong opinions to spark debate and phone-ins rather than hard-sourced journalism. In the UK media hierarchy of transfer credibility, Paul Joyce, The Times, and David Ornstein, The Athletic, they sit at the serious end. TalkSport sits far closer to the chat and speculation end. They're not outright fabricators like some X accounts, but their transfer exclusives often come from recirculating rumours rather than breaking news. AS leaning on TalkSport here shows they didn't have their own information, which weakens the article's authority. They're padding it out with context. Konaté's contract, Guéhi's collapse move. But the central claim about active talks is lifted from a speculative UK source. And it's incredible that they're saying that. Do you know what I mean? Because I just said that to you, didn't I, a minute ago? I swear down, I did that analysis with Dave a couple of hours ago. I couldn't remember what he said. But that is a central claim. It's incredible. But it is, because when I went through that with you above, I said the active talks bit for me would be the bit that would suggest that Liverpool and the agent, there maybe is a little bit of hope. But as he's flagged up there, it's lifted from a speculative UK source. So for me, that bit where it says report, talk, sport, I'm like, I don't know. If Paul Joyce or Ornstein, even maybe one of the Click journalists had said actively, I mean, I wouldn't have believed them, to be honest with you, but I would have thought, oh, right, maybe they are talking. So, yes, Konaté is in the media today. We've got the Marca article, which is 2 days old, only just hit in the print edition, and it's not any different to anything we've seen already. If you didn't see the video yesterday about having a mole at Liverpool, because that was all to do with that original article and Jose Felix Diaz, etc., etc., I would take some time to watch that if you can. I thought it was a good video, personally. I don't just say that about my videos. I'll be honest. If I think my video is shite, I'll tell you. And this again, yes, people today might say Konaté is in the Madrid media again, but this isn't their own words. They're just citing TalkSport and basically filling their publication. So that's the latest on Konaté, if you like. I don't know about you, where you sit with it. I know many of you, very much like sick of hearing about it, don't. And I agree, but we have to go through it. We have to talk about these things, right? This is the fucking news. We can't pick and choose. But for me, he's not even a player that I'm going to be even bothered about losing. Now that maybe sounds a bit dismissive, right? But what I mean by that, yeah, of course I'm bothered about losing Konaté. But what I mean is losing Salah, losing Virgil van Dijk, I'd literally would have been like throwing myself off fucking buildings. Do you know what I mean? Losing Konaté is like, meh. You know what I mean? I think he looks a million times better than he actually is because he's played alongside Virgil van Dijk. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think he'd be that fucking good at Real Madrid. I don't. But guess what? We'll have a new series, won't we? What we're going to call it? Someone said that yesterday in the comments. What would you call it, Dunk? I said, Cunty Konaté. No. What was the other words? What was the other one? I can't remember. It was really good. Crafty. There we go. Then we won't get into trouble. Crafty Konaté. Is that the new series for next? Crafty Konaté or Country Konaté? He's off. In my opinion, he's off. I will be very surprised if he extends with Liverpool. I will, guys. I'll be very surprised. If he did, I'd think, Real Madrid, they've pulled out. But I think, Jose Felix Diaz is saying the right things. Jose Felix Diaz is the closest journalist to Real Madrid. I think Paul Joyce in the Times. Listen, I followed all of Jose's reporting in the last year to do with Trent. When people were going, it's just the Madrid media, shit stirring, trying to unsettle. We're playing them soon. It's all a big lie. I was like, nah, he's right. Everything he said was fucking right that I saw. And of course, I spoke to him personally as well. So when you speak to someone personally, you get to hear little bits as well, don't you, that don't go in the print, So anyway, that's it. That's all I've got for you on Konaté. Today I have got other things coming up. I don't know if I've got an exclusive. We are going to review one article that I've seen on a Liverpool fan site. There is stuff coming up, yeah, most definitely. So there's a mail stand coming up as well today, I think. All right, guys, I'll leave it with you. So, if you appreciate this video, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it informative, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment if there's anything that you've got to say, although you may have already commented on one of the other dozen videos I feel like we've recorded in the last few days about Konaté. If you want to support me, you support my channel, there's a love out under the video. It's called a super thanks. I'm super and I deserve a thanks, in my opinion. It's like buying me a beer or a coffee. You can become a channel member. Those are the people with the footballs next to the name. They're my legends around here. And also there's the VIP membership as well, details of which is in the video description. So yeah, that's it, guys, really. But one of the best things you can do to support my channel is leave me a comment, because it gets me through the day. I like to see your comments. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, I'm reading your comments all day, all night. When I get up for a piss 3 o'clock in the morning, I still pick before. I'm like, Has anyone commented? I do, honestly, because I like hearing from you guys. All right, man. I'll see you in a bit, guys.